After too long a time, we find ourselves at last in the company of our courageous The Cavern Today explorers as they arrive at the too familiar and too long vacated The Cavern Today hood, where recording of the podcast may begin.
And in other melodramatic narration, we seem to have blown a fuse or something. There's no power to any of our equipment or... Hey, Dalkin, what's that over there? Can you point your flash? Oh my god, spider. Okay. Oh god, big spider. No, so much no.
Really? Morris Panic Link? There, spider, bottom of shoe. It's not like Anone or something. Then again, with the quabs...
Well, that might have been some rare dunny spider never seen for hundreds of years.
Mowog, calm down. If there's one thing I know about spiders and insects, for every one you see, there's about 10 million more that you don't.
Something tells me that fact is unscientific. But given the don't see component, it's hard to disprove.
Oh, imagine if there were 10 million linking books out there we haven't found yet. Holy exploring.
For science!
Anyone else hear hooves?
What? Where?
Hey, guys. So is it gone? The spider.
Worse, dead as a 5-sided Denis doornail, thanks to Dalkin.
Well, if I'm gonna be here and, a spider's gonna be here, well, one of the two must be dead. I don't want to be dead, so, yeah, we know what the score is gonna be.
Awfully brave in the face of your defeated foe.
Wait, Dalkin. Dalkin. Whoa, wait.
Oh, that might have gone very bad.
Wait, where did we get a generator anyway?
I heard he found it on some island.
I have my new mic. I'll be over here where the podcast is alive!
Ah, so lame. All right, be there in a second.
Hello, and welcome to the first TCT podcast for 2013. Geez, is it possible that it's been 2 years since you last heard from us? Why, yes, the last cast came out in April 2011. We meant to come back sooner. No, really. The Cavern Today is inspired by a certain fanboyism that we all shamelessly admit to enjoying in response to Myst and Uru. Uru has definitely been through some changes. From our first experience with the Clef demo from Uru to Uru Ages Beyond Myst, Uru Live, Uru The Complete Chronicles, Until Uru, Myst Online Uru Live, and finally, Myst Online Uru Live again with its recently released open source component. More than once, The Journey's End was written, and more than once it was reinvigorated with a new infusion of access and enthusiasm. When the open source news debuted, we were going to do a podcast right away, but as substantial news surrounding that sort of thing was slow coming, we decided to hold off. Inevitable life, other projects mixed with some more life, led to the delay, and although it only seems like a month or two ago that we decided to do TCT 9, it has indeed been a year. In this TCT Episode 9 for April 2013, we bring you our TCT-branded chat segment, TCT Talk, featuring the thoughts of the inimitable Mr. Mowog, and a musical piece by Jeff Wise called The Way Things Are. So, without further ado, let's get into The Cavern Today, Episode 9, Open Source.
Hello again, this is Mowog for the Cavern today. We've always felt that our venerable podcast somehow represented the heart and soul of the Uru fan base, and with this latest release of TCT, the feeling is stronger than ever. In the same way that Uru refuses to throw in the towel and disappear, the TCT team has stayed together in one form or another through thick and thin. Even though the podcast hasn't been heard for some time, we have stayed very much in contact, chatting daily via Skype. And granted, few of our conversations have concerned Uru over the last year or so, and some of the team have branched out to produce a sister podcast over the fence. But the old enthusiasm is still there. Note that the fence in question was always felt to refer to the well-known fence around the cleft, and that even though we were crossing that fence, we always knew from whence we came, the cleft and Uru. Even though there may be no new ages coming from the master writers at Cyan Worlds, they've stayed busy proving to a new generation just how good adventure gaming can be by painstakingly adapting their classic titles to new platforms. I'm currently playing Riven on my iPad, and am hooked once again. That first tram ride always gets my attention, and it's so much better when you don't have to swap CDs on your arrival at each island. When I first accepted the Riven challenge all those years ago, it required the purchase of a new Mac that was gutsier than my old Performa 405 that I essentially bought to play Myst. Well, now I can carry Riven with me on the iPad and link to that tragic island world wherever I happen to be, and I think that's amazing. Only slightly less amazing is the ability to explore Uru on my iPad, with a bit of cheating, that is. In our TCT Talk for this installment, I explained how to use the Splashtop app on my iPod to bring up a remote desktop to my PC, and thus enjoy Uru on the iPad via our home Wi-Fi network. I won't go into that here, but listen to the talk for all the details. It's not perfect, and you might find yourself wanting a Bluetooth keyboard for more convenient key chatting, but it's still pretty neat, and in my opinion, it's very much worth the effort. And besides, the Wi-Fi version of Splashtop is free, so trying it out is painless. And it's also available for Android, so check it out. Note, too, that for a nominal monthly fee, you can get Splashtop for Internet and access your PC, and therefore Uru, using your tablet or smartphone from anywhere over the web. But I haven't tried that method, so I can't comment on performance. I said I wasn't going to go into that, but that's the whole idea behind the Cavern today, sharing the latest Uru-related news with the fans. We don't produce the Cavern today because we have to. We do it because we really can't help it. Uru has meant an awful lot to us, and being able to share that enthusiasm among the TCT team members has been a joy, and sharing it with all of you, the Uru fan base, is the icing on the cake, and we're excited and honored to be the messengers and to be speaking with you again. For the Cavern today, this is Mowog, signing off.
So, welcome to the Cavern today, where we discuss all things Dunny and Dunny related. I'm Esto, here with Mowog, Dalkin, Janathus, and Maris.
Is that everybody?
That is
I hope
everyone
so.
here. I think
There
so.
are, there's, yes.
Yes.
Esto here with
There's 5 of us. It is the perfect Dunny number.
Yes.
Well, not quite.
Or so says Gen.
If there
This
was
is a
20
Phase 5
novels.
podcast, yeah.
Hey guys! Hey! I just got back from the forum. Guess what?
What is it?
What, Uru's open source!
No, what?
Woot.
Really, it's true!
When did that happen? Believe it. This is completely new news to me in March 2013.
I am very surprised.
What's
When
Uru?
did you find out this breaking news? So that happened a long time ago, and we were thinking, maybe something momentous would happen, and has it?
Yet we wait.
Kinda.
Some things have happened. Some things have definitely happened. But
Actually, quite a bit has happened, but it seems to me, as the average Cavern explorer, that a lot of it's behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
half of it is that, yes, it is behind the scenes. The other half is people don't really know what's going on, and so they don't know where to look for said things that are going on.
Somebody told me that they fixed the resolution bug, but last I checked, it was still a bug.
It's much better on Genshart.
Genshart is
Really?
very shiny.
Yeah, it's not so much. The resolution issue is still kind of an issue on the main shard, but on the
Somebody just didn't do their math right, is all that is.
Yeah. Well, if I could actually log into the Gin shard, I don't know what happened, but it stalls on the searching for updates or whatever, so I haven't been able to get in for a while.
Well, maybe if your computer wasn't 12 years old.
All right.
Just throwing that out there.
I'll build a new computer. I won't eat for a month. I'll build a new computer.
Put it on the stoop, see if the cat licks it up.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
Well, I don't think the computer has anything to do with it, because I was able to get into it quite successfully for quite a while and enjoyed the exploring there, actually. But the last few times I've tried to get in, there it isn't. So
That's odd. I was able to get in again just as Janethus opened the call, which is why my accepting of the call was a little delayed, because I had to... Well, I was in load screens, so it was unclickable.
And as we all know, the Uru load screen does not support alt.
Oh, yes. So maybe we should discuss the different shards and the differences between them, just in case the viewers/listeners, I don't know what to call you guys, don't know.
Okay. But only really quickly.
Okay.
Well, we got Cyan, Minkata, Gin, the Open Cave, Deep Island, and Destiny. I think that's
good enough. Next bullet point.
Cyan is, of course, the official shard. I don't remember what Minkata is, but Gen is the official Guild of Writers shard. And it's one of the more popular
Guild
ones.
of Writers shards.
Yeah, the Minkata shard is the one run by openuru.org, which are basically the folks that were helping Cyan push out the cyanworlds.com engine, which we'll talk about in...
Cyanworlds.com, like they're releasing Plasma as an official engine branded by them?
I honestly have not looked into it as much as I could have. I will admit.
We're all about research.
Yeah. So, but okay. The summary that they have on the site is, quote, CyanWorlds.com engine is the client, server, and tools used to develop and operate the Myst Online Uru Live MMO. The server code needs more work before CyanWorlds can clear it for open source. However, the client and 3ds Max plugin are now available in open source.
Hooray!
Yes.
Yippee.
So yeah, they've got this whole thing about how you can get the CyanWorlds.com engine and use it to run a shard and all that fun jazz.
Yeah, and to stress again that we know this is really old news, but we haven't done a podcast in a long time.
Yeah, the CyanWorlds.com engine came out like 2 years ago.
Yes.
So we here at TCT have been looking into and exploring a bit of the Gen shard just to see what we like. And I got to say personally that I really like the way that the application itself is. Really nice and speedy, a lot faster than the official shard as far as I can tell. Just in the way it loads detail. It's very smooth, very nice. So
And it looks nice on my screen monitor.
Yeah, the last time I saw it, it looked really good.
So back to shards.
Oh, right. Okay.
So we covered Cyan, Minkata again. The Open Cave Deep Island is the other.
Yes, Deep Island is the other Guild of Writers shard. It was actually the first, and it is currently where all of the previously, well, I guess there's still Alcug's Ages, but it is where that whole slew of ages is now available. However, since it's based off of UruCC, you need to have a copy of UruCC or TPOTS in order to run it.
Conveniently available on Steam.
And GOG.
Oh, yeah.
Now is Arapots available in the Deep Island shard? Because I was wondering because are they ever gonna port some of the ages that they have available? Because it seems to me like Deep Island is a little bit less accessible because of the whole UruCC thing. So are they gonna sort of begin a process where they start to port those ages into Gen?
They are working on it. Okay. They did that with one age so far. It's a simple age called Vithal Gallery or something like that.
It's very nice to see,
And they have the blocks one, right? I don't remember what the name of that is.
Trebivdil.
Yeah, Trebivdil.
Yes. So that is their plan. Their plan is to bring more ages into Genshard. Genshard is supposed to be sort of this best of the best kind of thing. So not all of them will be coming over. But that's their plan. The difficulty is because they're built based off of two completely different builds of Uru.
Right.
it takes a little bit of work to happen. Largely, they need a plugin to do this. And as you said before, they released the 3ds Max plugin. There's not one for Blender, and most developers develop with Blender, and those ages can only be accessed through Uru CC.
I just realized that now that the 3DS is a gaming console, 3DS Max sounds really funny.
Now the 3DS is a gaming console, like it just came out.
Well,
again, we're not exactly on the cutting edge with this one.
See, when you said Trebevdil, or whatever you said,
yes,
I don't know, I just saw
close.
The Hobbit. I thought it was someplace in the Shire rather than...
Cavern Today, bringing you most up-to-date news on Myst and Uru.
So, does this transition well into the state of the Uru?
They have a working beta for the PYPRP2 plugin needed to make the conversion. It's got several bugs, and it's not entirely functional, and it's pretty much being spearheaded by any of the members of the Guild of Writers who have time to work on it. So, yeah.
A devoted group of programmers.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm. We can rebuild it.
Indeed. In many deeds.
So, what I was actually talking about was the next bullet point, State of the Uru. So, how are we feeling about the State of the Uru?
It's difficult to say. I'm kind of thinking off the top of my head here, but it's kind of difficult to be the kind of fan that we used to be, back in the glory days, and maintain interest. You also, it's like you have to dig behind the scenes a little bit, and to see what the users are doing. Which
I forgot. When I visited the city not that long ago, I forgot that they had opened up all of the journals in that gallery.
yeah.
yes,
And I thought, when did that happen? I mean, I remember they were kind of like piecemealing them out, and now in Mula they're all there.
yeah.
And also the doors work on the other side of the Kadish gallery.
Oh, yeah, that was always yeah. Did they ever get around to... I'm sure they did, but I'm just double-checking. Did they ever fix the whole Minkata Sparkly issue?
They did.
Okay, yeah.
They did, yeah.
I think my issue is that I logged in. Yeah, I remember they did, but my issue is that I logged in and I realized that in order to get it, I would have to do part of Minkata, and I was like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, that
you didn't
was
memorize the direction to go run in for about 5 minutes.
I gotta say that age, it's a good idea, but it's executed.
That's the namesake of the Minkata shard, actually. That was one of the main things they were working on testing over there before bringing it over to the main Cyan shard.
Is that a fact? Oh, okay. Yeah. Actually, Minkata was one of my favorite ages, just in the way that it made use of our ability to free roam, and turned it into it turned that into a gameplay element, and I thought that was...
I kind of wish they just had not thought so large on the scope.
Yeah, like the puzzle's a good idea, but
error was a big a cumulative error was a big problem there.
Absolutely, yeah. And it ends up being like it's a good idea, but it's not fun. It's not fun to do. It's just sort of, oh, okay.
Yeah, the Minkata Sparkly was just kind of a big joke at that point. That's how that name came about.
To a certain extent, though, like a lot of the games that Uru was trying to be an MMO, a lot of the MMOs had things that are kind of, if you boil them down to their core concept, are fun, but then when you water them down to the actual what you have to do to get from A to Z, it's more of a job and a chore. Which I guess if you follow that theory, that's where Minkata comes in.
MMO.
Yeah. One of the interesting points about Minkata, I thought, was that it was one of the only Uru ages we ever explored where it was possible to get really and truly lost.
Oh, it gets really foggy, too, when you get lost.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you can't even see your shoes.
Let's not forget that...
All right, Jeanette.
That hit me twice, that joke.
I had to spend some time sweeping up a bunch of Minkata sand off the side of my Relto because of how many times I just got lost in the big sandstorm
Which
out
is really
there.
hard because you can't use your arms, so...
Let's not forget the when you first go into Minkata and you stand on top of the compass rose, and that really creepy track plays.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
That creeped me the heck out.
I think with Minkata, even though this was a track that actually Tim Larkin had designed, if you look on the old 2003 era soundtrack for the game, the Badlands track is there, but he'd like perfected and expanded it for this, and I think it was 06 when it came out this time. So yeah, or 06,
07.
But it was he like that was I think one of the last. Well, Cavern, but you know there isn't a whole ton of new music that was added when it went live, and that was I think one of the tracks, especially that second time when you're exploring at night.
Yeah,
and the music is really good. Like there's some really good music in this game, and that was a good example.
Quite dramatic, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I also like the one when you come in, like when you actually complete the puzzle for Minkata and you come in and it plays that different track.
Right.
Yeah.
That one's just so... I love that one just because it's so sweeping and dramatic.
Yeah.
It was exciting.
And triumphant.
The timpani roll in the beginning.
Yeah.
So,
yes.
Myst and Riven on the iPad.
I have them both, and in fact, I have Real Myst on the iPad, and
it is real.
Real, yes,
and it is real. I touched them.
Okay, it's about as real as it's going to look. I'll say that.
Yeah, it looks real.
Well, now getting sidetracked a little bit
with pre-DirectX 8 water.
Well, back in the olden days, I used to play Uru and Real Myst every now and then with 3D shutter glasses, back when I had a CRT monitor and could do things like that. And Uru with depth was very cool, but we've covered that ground a long time ago. Only to say that Real Myst on the iPad takes full advantage of the Retina display and looks stunning. It really does look good.
I just wonder if it's so old now by this point, because it's from like 98, 99.
Yeah,
that game was, and is it so old that the graphics processing capabilities found in the iPad is just way more than it could ever ask for?
Well, one of the nice things they did is that they really touched up, like they added lighting effects, which really makes the game look nice.
It really was greatly enhanced. They added some environmental effects like the storms in Stone Ship, and I thought the water was especially well done.
Because it makes me think of Uru, and then I go back and look at some of the ages in Uru, and I realize that there's no lighting effects in this game. There's little tricks that they do, like there's little texture changes on different surfaces, but other than that...
Sometimes you can see through the glows, the semi, this is what a light is thing.
Yeah, and I wonder if such effects in Uru were simplified a little bit simply because it had to stream, and that wasn't... Stream online, when that wasn't necessarily the case with Real Myst. I don't know.
So speaking of Uru and iPads, Mowog seems to have figured out a trick there.
Well, it's funny you had mentioned that, Dalkin. I just thought about it today. I had bought this iPad fairly recently, and I'm enjoying that sweet apple Kool-Aid, but as one does when one has an iPad, one kind of browses around the App Store to see if there's anything that looks even halfway interesting. And for the most part, I kind of flip right past things. But today I came across Splash Top, which is an app kind of along the lines of oh gosh, and I can't think of the others. But it lets you remote in to a Mac or PC. And
like TeamViewer or Log Me In.
Log Me In is what I was trying to think of, yeah. So there's nothing really groundbreaking about this except that it's quite affordable. And I bought it this morning, but I don't remember the price anymore. But it's your typical, $4.99, something like that for an iPad app. And I was able to try it this afternoon when I got home from work and was really impressed. It streams the content of your desktop machine over Wi-Fi, although there is an internet-based component to this that you can purchase and I think resubscribe to every year. And
so it's like a Wii U.
Well, all right, yeah. But, okay, where was I going with this? I'll cut to the chase. I played Uru with it for a while, and it's kind of neat to see Uru on your iPad, because it's not necessarily a mobile game. It hasn't gotten there yet. But I was able... It plays streaming actually pretty well. It's slightly laggy, but as we were talking about this evening earlier, there's really nothing new about laggy Uru, so it's very much playable and quite enjoyable, and it seems like everything works. You have to, if you're using key chat, it would make a lot more sense to have an external, say like a Bluetooth keyboard for the iPad, because otherwise the on-screen keyboard pops up and obscures a lot of what you're looking at. And so if you're key chatting, you can't see a lot of scenery except for sort of a stripe across the top. So if you tried to do this with Splashtop or whatever, I'd recommend a Bluetooth keyboard, and there are any number of them out there, and they're not terribly expensive. You can only play it in windowed mode, since the Splashtop doesn't support full screen applications, and so you'll have to get into your PC or Mac end of it and reset Uru to play in a window, and then it comes across and looks absolutely beautiful on the Retina screen. All the audio also comes in via Wi-Fi. Sounds really good. On headphones, it sounds just like you're sitting at your desk.
Hey, Mowog, do you know how to do screenshots with your iPad?
Not yet, but I will.
All it is hit the lock button and the home button at the same time.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's easy enough. Yeah. I'll need to do that and post some of the pictures, yeah.
That's kind of what I was driving at.
Yeah. Now, as far as walking around, at first I tried the go-where-I-click method, and that didn't really work very well, and I never liked that anyway. You can also superimpose an arrow keys configuration on the screen, and could just touch and hold the forward key to walk or something like that. You can also simply tap and hold on the screen to walk. I can use your other finger or the keys. I'm trying to remember how I did this. To steer as you're walking, for example. So it's all the functionality's there, and I just need to get into it a little more deeply. But I guess the cool thing was, as far as I'm concerned, and to wrap this up, is that we can't legitimately play Uru on a tablet. Splashtop, you can. It's cool.
For once, Uru's horrible click-to-move control scheme comes in handy.
Now, here's a question. Did you play Uru live, or did you play a version of CC?
It was live, yeah. Because I linked to the Cavern, and there were a few folks there, and I chatted very briefly.
Oh. Very cool.
Using key chat on the iPad. So, yeah, it's fully... whatever your PC can do, it streams out to the iPad.
Wow.
Now I'll have to find out if I can do it with, Crysis 3.
Yeah,
because a lot of PC games will support a 360 controller.
Yes. If you go to splashtop.com, it's Splashtop, pretty obviously. And, top 20 best-selling iPad app in 2011.
Wow.
Been around maybe a couple of years. I just found out about it, but again, I'm not necessarily on the cutting edge. But you can get it for iOS or Android, as I understand. So any folks with Android tablets can do this too.
Very nice.
And I need to mention too that the app itself resides on my iPad, but for any machine that I want to log into and stream from, you need to download another little program from their website that's called the Streamer. And
the Streamer.
Download.
Party. Okay.
Not Screamer, Streamer. But
I was standing I was running around with the streamer, like a party streamer.
Oh yeah, all right.
Yeah, it doesn't work really in audio though.
Yeah.
So anyway, though,
streamer, streaker, whatever works.
Streaker.
That's
Sounds
right.
like a Dalkin thing to do.
Yeah. Now we're talking about this related to Uru, but of course it can let you do pretty much anything on your iPad that you can do on your PC. Say like have access to all your Office apps and things like that. All the stuff you usually use, you can get to it from your iPad. So anyway, yeah. Just to say that Uru does work with that, and once you improvise a few little tricks to make it workable, and ideally, once you get a Bluetooth keyboard for it, it would really be a slick way to play Uru on your tablet.
Yeah,
Now, what I haven't experimented with is, okay, let's see, what's the other? I'll go to products here. Okay, Splashtop for Business. I need to check this and see what they call the subscription that lets you access your PC over the internet. I haven't tried with that. The internet. Yeah, what I have
that could be a little chunky, but though, because
it could be. Yeah. Because what I have right now, it works only over Wi-Fi, but it works very well indeed. So, so that's basically it. You download the app to your tablet, and it's not expensive at all. And the streamer component is free. So, and then it gives you a facsimile of your desktop screen on your tablet, and you can just can use the desktop icons and everything, and taskbar, etc., as you usually would. And that's that for that.
So, speaking of classy Uru stuff.
Classy Uru stuff?
Yeah, that's my good transmission.
I see.
Transition.
Transmission.
Yeah. So, the Smithsonian American Art Museum has created a art of video games, and they've included in it Myst. How do you feel about that?
I think that's cool. I'm happy that it's recognized. Well, I'm just glad that it's recognized as the milestone that it is.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like Riven was. Well, I don't know. To me, Riven was the bigger milestone, but I guess that's just my opinion.
Cyan would probably agree with you.
I included this bullet point too because the Museum of Modern Art just recently did the same thing. Where they added a few games to their exhibits, which I think it's great that video games are being recognized as an art form, and that Myst is being recognized as kind of one of the breakout.
I think I know what you're getting at, and that it was like the first of its kind to come out and just
Yeah, it was kind of helped establish the culture.
It defined a whole new genre, basically. And Riven followed up on that, and even though it was, I think, a much superior game in so many ways, it wasn't the first, and Myst was, and I think that's what they're recognizing.
Yeah, no, it's tough, because video games really are an emerging art form, and not everybody, has complete respect for it yet.
Kind of like in comics or
anything. Now, new statistics have shown that the average video gamer right now is actually in their 40s. So it's becoming less and less of a generational thing. But there still are people, like even in like a younger generation, you still run into the type of people who be like, oh no, I don't do video games anymore. I have a job, who still sort of look at video games as this thing kids do, And I don't know.
Yeah.
Hey, there's a website called Gamers with Jobs.
It's written by game developers. Yeah. Okay.
And they are an older site. There was a guy I used to listen to on a couple of podcasts years ago. He changed podcasts because the company he worked for was bought out a couple times. But he's worked in the industry from a reporting perspective, avid gamer, and now working inside of the industry as a writer. And so it's a fun perspective. I recommend it.
Who is that, by the way?
Jeff Green.
Okay.
He's, I believe he's Jewish. Not that it matters, just saying. And he's got some real snark. I wish he actually did a regular podcast, but he only does them now and then. I guess there's certain contractual limitations that keep him from being able to just talk willy-nilly about what he does.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's way off topic. So that sort of wraps us up, don't you think, Chris?
Yeah, I would think so. I felt like I had something to say, but I didn't write it down, and it's fallen out of my brain. So
yeah, I think we said all we had to say, and then just kept going.
I think you should. I think you should stammer it out like I do, perfect Janathus fashion.
So Morris, what about that thing you wanted to ramble on about?
We can do that after.
Yes. There was one thing about the state of the Uru. I didn't really feel that everything was quite addressed with that.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I don't even remember what we did discuss on that. But it would seem to me that the state of the Uru would be dictated by the by the community. And, you know, I'm not a huge part of the community anymore. A year ago, I was more present, and I'm, you know, Janathus, you've said how you've pulled away from that community. But I can say it is definitely still going on. People, there are individual people working on projects, sharing them with the community. Excuse me, sorry.
Well, yourself included. Talk about the cleft and below while you're on that topic.
Yeah. Well, in order for
you're definitely contributing to the community in that regard.
Well, thank you. That's been that was my goal. For any community to thrive, it needs to make something new, and so it's not just the Guild of Writers, but it's also you know, we've got storytellers, we've got filmmakers. The Guild of Messengers has started a project called Uru to You to sort of do a live, an in-cavern news broadcast thing. You should look it up on YouTube at some time. It's kind of funny. We've got the Grey Hats, who were originally welcomed with, you know, a little, okay, we're going to let you do the things that you do, and now they disappeared for a while, and then they started introducing these bots, which have brought a whole world of I might actually call it innovation to Uru, because when was the last time you thought that you'd see people playing water polo in Anune?
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's crazy, by the way.
It is. I've been there. I saw it happen. It was absolutely lag-tastic. It was it was pretty crazy. I think it was the Yellow Works the Black Works versus the Yellow Sunners or something like that. Can't remember. But there's all kinds of crazy things like this going on. And as Mowog was saying, I've got my own contribution to the community that I'm working on.
The cleft
shameless plug. Yeah, shameless plug here.
Shameless plug.
But
that's why I mentioned it, so you wouldn't have to, to feel so ashamed of yourself.
well, thank you for that. It's started as an Uru blog and turned into sort of a Cavern serial that I hope to keep going on. The interesting thing about any sort of project is that if you have a limitation imposed on it, almost all the time it will end up making the product stronger. And I started this thing without it more. It started as a way for me to just get some thoughts out there, and then ended up turning into this story, which until very recently I didn't even know how it was going to end, which was very exciting for me. But really, I've enjoyed making it. I've brought people on to help me write it, and I just hope that people enjoy it.
Well, be sure to mention the URL while we're talking about it.
Oh, well, you can read it at thecleftandbelow.blogspot.com. It was just a convenient method of putting it out there at the time. And, being a blog format, it's not easy to get to the old issues. So to address that, I've started creating PDF versions of all of the content so far, cleaned up, and so that everything's nice and shiny and more accessible. That's the main focus of that.
Which is fantastic.
I really can't say enough about the cleft and It really is very good. I can't say enough good about The Cleft and Below. It's a polished piece of work, good storytelling, and it's right up there in the classic mold of Uru fan fiction. I've written some myself, and I know what you're talking about. Once you get started, these stories kind of write themselves, and it's a lot of fun to get them out there. So
kind of like our skits.
Yeah. in a sense.
Well, yeah,
a little bit more comedy oriented than, you know.
Those weren't real?
What are you talking about?
Snape kills Dumbledore.
Oh, God.
I'm sorry, what?
Well, be sure to visit The Cleft and Below, because it really is quite good.
I do want to touch on the donations thing, since we're talking about the state of the Uru. I also kind of want to do an actual segment where I talk about this in the podcast, like a public service.
I think I think that was the bullet point that no one could remember. It was the Capcom meter.
It might have been it, but
one that involved money. Yeah, okay.
Anyway, so the CavCon meter.
Is it like 2, isn't it?
Huh?
2.2 last I checked.
Same here. It's been stronger.
Yeah. So, yeah, we've past few months, it's been looking kind of on the sad side. But,
sad. Yes.
Basically, Uru is, at this point, it is supported by its donations. And there's been kind of some discussion on the forum, particularly in the CavCon thread, about what people should donate, like how much, and all this stuff, what the CavCon meter means. I'm not going to go into full detail about the CavCon meter now because it would take me about an hour to properly explain it without, ensure there wouldn't be any confusion, because I've seen all the confusion that's been in the thread. But that's kind of why I want to do a public service announcement about it. But basically, with the CavCon meter, Uru being run by donations, it is kind of, it's fan supported. Ultimately, is what that means. It's not just through like a subscription where you pay the subscription to like GameTap or whatever, and then some of that goes to Uru or whatever. This is entirely, you decide an amount you want to donate, if any, send it off to Cyan, and that gets put towards the server fund.
That's right. Yeah.
And so the CavCon, in short, is just an indicator of how well that's doing.
It's kind of like a health meter in a shooter or something. Yeah.
Exactly. It's really.
And we're sending them power-ups every now and then.
Yeah.
So, people, I've heard some people talk about they've especially with some people in the Cavern saying, go donate, being enthusiastic, which is great about, supporting the game and everything. And I think that's great. Some people do feel like that they're being pressured into donating. So I do want to put emphasis on here that no one should feel pressured into donating for Uru. As much as I love Uru, and I'd love to see us get to CavCon 5, where we're getting out, new content and all this fun stuff.
New content.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Oh my.
Oh God. Sorry.
But yeah, with that, it's really donate what you feel what you feel is appropriate, and more importantly, what you can. Because obviously no one expects you to donate something when you can't afford it.
True.
Uru is a free game. It runs off donations, and it's because it's not free to run, but it is free to play. So the thing here is of course, the more donations that come in, the greater chance we have of getting towards that point where we do start getting more new content and bug fixes and all that fun stuff. But
yes,
yeah, no one should feel absolutely compelled to donate, like it's something they have to do.
But it's just a good feeling to know that you've contributed something to the cause.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But mostly I've been seeing that as a point of contention. And I really don't feel like anyone should feel pressured into that.
Yeah,
so I just wanted to address that.
Yeah, I think part of the problem is there are so few people contributing that there's a lot of maybe some hard feelings and some pressuring that might not be there if we had a larger fan base.
Yeah.
And the fan base, it's interesting. The Guild of Messengers twice now has put on fairly large events aimed at raising CavCon awareness. The first one being about a year and 5 months ago, maybe a little longer. I think it was in October, so I can't math very well. But that was a very successful event. Mowog, I believe you were actually there for a little while just to experience the lag.
I remember it sort of. It was a while back.
I was there for most of it. It was a very fascinating experience to be surrounded by so many people who just wanted to prove that they wanted to keep the place around with the purpose of collecting money for donations of this. I think they had live DJs, and some people even performed live. The Grey Hats did their share, opened up a instance of Agura that didn't have a population cap, and then the ironic part is everyone wanted to show how much they wanted the place to be around so much that we killed the server.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it made a point. I mean...
Oh, yeah, it definitely made a point. And the guys at Cyan, they definitely knew what was going on. Because I remember when the server went down, everyone was frantically, joining various IRC channels or going to the forums, like, is it back up? Or have you been able to get in? And then, they posted on the announcements, they say, okay, the server's back up, don't kill it just yet, but you can go back to your party now.
Yeah. Well, do we have anything else to add? I don't think I do.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything.
I've already tried to pull this podcast over.
I had some other stuff, but it was kind of time sensitive, so it's not really relevant now.
How long ago was it time sensitive?
A few months ago.
That part about Uber being open source.
The magic of editing can fix this.
Yeah.
Well, no.
I have to edit?
Huh? Rand made a visit into the Cavern a little while back during one of the guild meetings and talking about some stuff. And I had some notes somewhere, but I don't know where they are now because it was before I moved out here. So
we'll do it live.
Let's do it live.
Hey.
Hey, I'll have to cut that out. Yeah, this is the
now I have to
podcast.
I couldn't turn down the opportunity to reference.
This is not that podcast. Yeah.
I guess we need to get back to that podcast because apparently we have an itch to scratch.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Cavern today.
Yeah. On a slightly related note, before when I was talking about the state of the Cavern and the community-driven efforts, there is a group in the Cavern right now who are fairly active called the DMR, the Dunny Musicological Research, Bevan.
Yeah.
Actually.
It's been around for a while.
Yeah, and just last Saturday they had an interview with Jack Wall. It was pretty cool. I think on the forums every now and then you'll see a post go up in the events, and it's from the DMR. Saying, okay, well, we'll start posting your questions, and we'll ask him live. And this Saturday, Tim Larkin is up, so it's very exciting.
Excuse me.
I can do it again.
If this chat were a rope, I think it needs a knot in the end.
Yes.
Don't you, Chris?
Be tying one, okay?
And I shall name it Gordian.
Yes. Gordian knot.
Well, this has been the Cavern today. This has been a TCT Talk. I'm Esto. This is Griff.
Hello there. Or
Dalkin.
goodbye.
Dalkin.
Farewell, citizens, but fear not, for I shall return.
Morris.
I don't know why you say goodbye. I say hello.
And Genavis.
I'm not singing a song.
Thank goodness.
Well, it looks like we've reached the end. Or have we? So many times our podcast has ended, as has Uru, only to find ourselves and Uru reinvigorated. I imagine one day in the far distant future, aging and ancient Dalkin Starbine putting in his teeth to record yet another TCT cast. Hey, it could happen. But with that, we bid you a fond farewell. For now. For the Cavern Today, this has been Dalkin Starbine. On behalf of everyone who made this, the Cavern Today episode possible, farewell, citizens.
Are you on a headset?
Me? No. I'm on the mighty Mowog microphone.
That sound
the
like the
line-in
mighty
one.
Mowog
The
microphone.
triple M.
It's actually picking up over my webcam microphone, so...
Oh, that would be why. Yeah, that would be why.
I may need to rejoin the call or something so it detects... To close and reopen Skype so it detects my microphone.
Oh.
So...
Well, Go forth and change microphones.
Dude, chill.
I can't help it. We're doing a TCT Talk, man.
So glorious.
It's glorious.
God, cracking me up, Dalton.
Stand back.
He's infusing us with his essence.
Oh, Jesus. Dalkin Starbine, Genathis, Morris, comes a new adventure.
Oh yeah, and I think there's that Chris guy too.
Yeah.
Great Central Railroad that ran the
That song needs a dance mix.
Oh, God.
I never did like
Great Central Railroad that ran through our town.
Actually, maybe a glitch mob mix.
Oh, God.
And the wonderful part about it is I rediscovered that I had beer last night. It was great.
Very nice. That's always a good discovery to make.
How do you rediscover you had beer last night? Did you wake up someplace strange? But Angels and Demons is about 50% different.
Okay.
Is there a mute button here somewhere?
I hit the red thing and Dolphin goes away.
Oh, cool.
Link. I don't want to freak you out, so brace yourselves.
Oh.
For this whole call, from the moment the first person spoke anything, has been recorded.
Oh, nice. Have some good takeout.
I was hoping for that.
So incriminating.
What they need to do is add ponies, because ponies make everything.
All right, you know what?
It's droid. You can already add ponies. If you really want.
Take your equestrian agenda elsewhere, sir.
Yeah, she was going to be on the podcast tonight, but she couldn't talk because she's a little hoarse.
Oh, no. No. Come on.
Oh, that was so bad, but so awesome because it was Mowog.
So after I cut out everything that Griff and Dalkin said, it'll be very concise.
Oh, God. Great Central Railroad that ran through our town. Now just a memory. Station's torn down.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dalkin Starbine.
Grass green the ties and roads on the rail. Governor's talking, Moscow Trail.